How to color. Well, first off, you want to identify the light sources beforehand. So we got this blast right here, his head right here, and this ball of energy right here. Those are three sources of energy, so that's three sources of light. By the way, we're going to be drawing this character, Prime. He appears in my series, chapter 12 of my series, Numen's Law. I'm just going to erase my areas beforehand just in case. You don't want to mix in with the colors. We're going to start off with the light colors first. But one thing you want to keep in mind when you're identifying light sources is which part of the light source is white. Because since the paper is white, we don't have to color in that area so much. We have to color around it. For instance, this blast right here, we're going to start off with this blast right here. It's going to be, I think we're going to make it blue. So we're pretty much going to leave the base, a heavy part of the blast, white when we're coloring it in. We're just going to color certain accents of it, like the around the blast, to make it more of a, give it more depth. So most of the blast is going to be white. Since it's a light beam. Now that's preference on me making it white, but the lighter it is, the more closer to white you're going to have. And another plus to coloring lightly, since this is cardstock and it's much tougher paper, you can erase the light color. So now if we make any mistakes, we can just erase them that we don't like. And it helps blend as well. You can, if you do it gently, you could blend it with the white. Now we're going to follow the same principle with his head, because his head pretty much has some white in it. So we're just going to draw around. His head's like a neon beam, so the center of it would be white. So we're just going to do light blue accents and erase the middle. Now this blast is red over here, so the center core of anything of a light source, if it's super bright, we're going to keep it white, but we're going to color the back ends of it red, just so you see the initial direction. Even the eyes are a white light source. His body's more of a darker blue color, but we're going to color it light blue just to be safe, and then we're going to work our way towards the darker color. We're going to keep the light sources in mind. Let's start with the hand. We're going to draw the back ends of the hand bluish. We're going to keep it more so white on the ends, because that's where it's pointing to. It's pointing towards the light. But we're going to want to color super light, so when it's time to blend, it makes it much easier. And anywhere that might be shading, I'm just going to color blue. And the rest can accent the color. Now we're going to go on with the same color, but color lightly or slightly harder to make some type of shade. I'm not going to color too hard because we still have to put that darker blue in. But this is going to create some depth between the character's body. And helps show where he's facing and show where the light source is predominantly coming from. We're also got to keep in mind that this light source is right here, so it's going to have some reflective colors too. But it's not as strong as this one. You want to pay attention to the spots I left white. Those is reflecting of the shine off of this. So this area would be white and this area would be white because the light source is coming from this angle, so it's pushing onto this side. So in contrast, the darkness is over here, so we shaded this side. Now before we add the darker blue, we're going to show the reflective color coming off the red, which is right here. Just a tad bit that's coming off the red. Not too much because the red blast ain't fully complete. There's that reflective color. almost forgot to color in his hand. Same principles go on with the hand. You're gonna make it red towards facing the ball. There it's facing the ball. I'll lightly color here. It's gonna fade out, get softer as you fade away from the color. Now, just like the same principles as before, how we left certain areas white, we're going to keep certain areas blue because it's still reflecting that color off. So now we're going to color what his clothes, his actual color of his clothes, which is this dark blue. We're going to target areas very softly and precisely. Planning is a huge part of the drawing process, so we got to be very careful with what we draw. We're going to start on the back end of the drawings. As we ease over to the middle where the regular blue is, we're getting lighter and lighter. So it looks like it blends. Color some darker areas right here. And now we have our darker color, but this doesn't look like it blended properly, so we're just gonna come back in with the light blue and kind of force its way through. Like right here, we're gonna color in a circular motion. And then when we get towards the white, we're going to color a little bit lighter. To add more depth, we're going to draw a little bit darker behind the fingers. That isn't fully exposed by the blast. We're going to make this a little bit lighter. We can come back in with the eraser since we colored lightly and make it a little bit brighter. We're gonna slightly do that, just to blend it a little tiny bit. Just to blend it a tiny bit. Then we're gonna clean it up with the light color. Oop, made a mistake down here. It's a good thing I'm using Cardstock because it's much easier to work with these light colors. Now I'm lightly going to draw the shading where the feet is underneath. And since the light is facing this way, the shading is going to be on the opposite angle. Alright, I'm going to make it a little bit more flat. Alright, and that's really how you color in a character, or how I do it. Now you don't have to end here, you can go in with even darker color, just to have more depth, if you want to get crazy. I'm going to do it to put icing on the cake, so we're going to darken this area, because we're missing that graphical look I like to do. Because remember, at the end of the day, the more light you have, the more shadows are being casted. Without light, there's no shadows. Now, if you have more blues and more colors, you can keep adding different gradients to add more depth and give them more dimensions. But I think this is the sweet spot that we're going for, or what I'm going for. I think we can end it right there, actually. Thank you so much for watching my video. If you liked it, subscribe and all that good jazz. And see you later.